Can you hear?
Yep.
Okay.
We are on. Welcome into another edition of Sports Outta Pocket. Man, we got a crazy episode for you guys. We're going to be talking about this Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green situation. We were talking about fantasy sports. My team finally got the win. I can't believe it. The 5-game losing streak is over. And fire me up, man. We got to talk about the Buffalo Bills and just what's going on with that organization right now, man. They should be performing and they're not. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, how's everybody doing?
Well, while your team's on a 5-game win streak, my team's continues its 3-game losing streak. So I'm trying to play a spoiler team right now and just to help everybody else knock some people out of the playoffs, but I'm struggling to do that. I don't know what's next for my team, but I am in serious danger of finishing dead last, so I need something to happen quick.
So I'm not going to be on for the fantasy football segment. It's actually going to be Christian. So I'm just going to go and say this now. I'm 6-4 now. I lost to Gavin. It was a very close battle.
Trevor Lawrence.
I put all the blame on T. Lawrence. Oh my God. And I know the 49ers defense is scary now that Chase Young is on that defensive line, but it's not even just that. He couldn't get anything clicking the entire game. He gave Jacksonville zero chance to win that game. I mean, that loss, my loss, all losses in the whole entire world, all land on the hands of Trevor Lawrence. So, buddy, I hope you can't sleep tonight because I certainly didn't.
That was bad. I actually did watch your matchup against Gavin, and dude, Trevor. I mean, I saw Trevor Lawrence's score, and I was like, "How do you put up only 2 points as a quarterback? It's insane."
I lost by 9 points. He averages like 14. If you would just reach his average, then I beat Gavin, and that's 4 in a row.
I don't care who you're playing. There is no excuse as an NFL quarterback to play that sorry of a game. And I love Trevor Lawrence. I hate to say that, but it's true. It is.
It is. It's really bad. Hey, Jackson, how's it going? How are you doing? You got the win against Richard this week, so you must be in some type of a good mood.
You're ahead of me now, Jackson, so go ahead and tell me how proud you are of yourself. Go ahead and downgrade me like you typically do.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
I'm feeling great. Eagles at the top of the NFL, Celtics at the top of the NBA. I won this week in fantasy.
Neither of them are going to win a championship. I mean,
how's your Kentucky Wildcats doing?
Doing
As a
terrible.
Penn State fan.
Yo, you can't. For everyone watching, Jackson has always been a Kentucky fan, but all of a sudden he wants to stay.
Go back to episode 1 when he makes a claim about how Kentucky's going to beat Alabama, coming from a Kentucky fan.
Going to beat Georgia.
And they didn't do it.
Oh, that's
they
right. I meant
walloped.
Georgia, not Alabama. Well, y'all didn't beat either, so.
All right. It's time to get into the show. So I think we all know what's at the top of the headlines when it comes to the NBA. Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert. Man, Draymond Green had that boy in a chokehold.
Was that not the WWE match last night?
I'm telling you, bro. I was like, where is the referee at? Like, if somebody needs to count to 3, somebody needs to let that man tap out. This match is over. But no, like, it was insane. Like, there was a fight that I don't even think it started between Gobert. I think it was Klay Thompson and
McDaniels.
And McDaniels that actually started chipping at each other. And then Draymond Green just comes out of nowhere and just starts choking out Rudy Gobert and just wouldn't let go. Like, Steve Kerr's begging him to let go. And Draymond's like, I ain't doing it.
And you can even see Rudy Gobert as he's in the chokehold. He has his hands up. He's like, what are you doing?
What is going on? What did I do?
I have such a love-hate relationship with Draymond Green because, I mean, I respect the man as a player, one of the best defenders the NBA has seen. But when it comes to things like this, he just takes it to a whole nother level that's completely unnecessary, and that's just what strikes a nerve to me when it comes to Draymond Green.
He has zero self-control. Because, like you said, the fight didn't even start with Draymond. It had nothing to do with him at first. He was just an instigator. Because, of course, McDaniels and Thompson, after somebody missed a shot and the other team was driving down the court, they got in a little tussle with each other. First of all, Thompson has 0 hairs on his chest. But I would have never known that if McDaniels didn't rip the jersey right off his stomach. But, I mean, and then Rudy Gobert actually stepped in to try to back up McDaniels, give him some support, and then there comes Draymond putting him in a chokehold. And at that point, his life is on the line. It's not like a fight anymore. Like, you wonder, is Gobert even breathing?
It's like, well, I was just saying, like, yeah, like you said, look at the replay. Rudy Gobert didn't do anything crazy. He just went to kind of separate Klay Thompson and McDaniels, and for some reason, Draymond saw that as a threat and decided to chokehold Rudy Gobert. I mean, it's like he wanted to start a fight. He wanted to.
The one thing that is true about Draymond Green is that his hands are rated E for everybody. Because he does not care.
Or feet, because remember we did a Steven Adams a few years ago.
I was about to say, this is not the first incident we've seen with Draymond. We saw what he did to Steven Adams. We saw what he did to Jordan Poole, and now to Rudy Gobert.
It won't be the last.
I do have a
It won't
thought,
be the
though.
last.
This kind of just hit me a little bit. The Warriors or not the Warriors. I mean, Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert did have some bad blood last season. So I wonder if maybe that was just old
It was
flames
just like,
resparking.
oh, good, now I can like.
Like he was like he's been waiting all year to do this or something. I wonder if the bad blood from last year kind of sparked old flames or something.
Well, what's interesting is the comments that Rudy Gobert made after the game. If y'all didn't see this, his quote after the game was, "It's kind of funny because before the game I was telling myself that Steph Curry is not playing. So I know Draymond is going to try and get ejected because every time Steph doesn't play, he doesn't want to play. It's his guy Steph. He'll do anything he can to get ejected." So Rudy Gobert's basically saying that, listen, when Steph Curry isn't playing, Draymond Green doesn't even want to like be on the court. He's just going to do everything he can to just get ejected off because he doesn't want to play whenever Curry's not on the court.
It's not a dumb comment. I mean, well, I don't want to say it's a dumb comment because in a weird way it kind of makes sense because even Draymond Green, I don't know if y'all have ever watched that show. It was like Cold as Balls with, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So Kevin Hart actually made a statement about that. Like, are you ever going to leave the Warriors? And he was like, as long as Curry's there, I'm never leaving. So it was kind of like, well, dang, okay, I guess Curry really is your boy.
That's it. And honestly, it makes a bit of sense.
Can you blame him though? Like, come on, you blame him?
Gobert, listen, I don't blame him at all. Listen, if I'm on a team with Steph Curry, I'm not wanting to leave either.
They complement each other so
also,
well.
I don't blame Rudy Gobert for those comments because I would be feeling some type of way after that happened to me too. I would be trash talking the guy.
And it's like they have that connection, like obviously not in the same sense, but they're kind of like the MJ and Scottie Pippen, like one's presenting the offense, the other's presenting the defense. So they pair very well together. So it does make sense, but it's just like don't go out here and try to draw blood just because your favorite guy's not on the court with you. Like that's when you need to step up the most.
Listen, this is not a game to choke people out, my man.
He's
you want to
playing
go play in the MMA. You want to go fight in the MMA. It's all you, buddy. But this is the NBA. You got to have some decorum.
He's playing the wrong sport last night.
But all right, what you boys got?
So quickly, I just want to talk about James Harden right now, and I want to spotlight him for a moment because, dear Lord, this man is on a downward spiral. Like,
Yep.
there's like I've heard critics say, and
He's been on a downward spiral since he left Houston.
Not even him. The teams that he's on are on a downward spiral. It happened. He impacts them in a negative way.
So I want to quickly say this. So I was watching the Clippers and Nuggets game last night, and James Harden had a fairly good performance. He dropped 21 points, shot 7 for 15 from the field, but it was that fourth quarter he looked horrific. I was watching him. He's slow. He puts no effort on defense.
He never
Still
has.
to this day, he doesn't. And at the end of the game, he had a chance to cut the lead to 1, the Nuggets lead to 1 with like 15 seconds left, and made a nice move to the rim and just missed a layup. And then when he's on the bench, he shows no emotional support to his team. So it's like, what are you even doing? Because you're literally doing nothing on and off the court.
Tyronn Lue should have never subbed out Westbrook at the end of the game. That was mistake number 1.
Not to mention they are 0-6 since bringing James Harden on the team, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's coincidence.
And the Sixers suffered their first loss without him in a close game to the Pacers, which goes to show how much they've improved since he's been gone.
Listen, we talked about it a few weeks ago when the James Harden train became official. We called this. We knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, we
like
knew.
you gave up so much to get James Harden when we were all just baffled at the move because we knew what James Harden was, and now this is what you get.
Well, guess what James Harden's doing? He's not putting the blame on himself. He's pointing fingers saying, oh, it's the lack of training that the coaches are giving us. No, bud, it's you. Because the Clippers were looking just fine before you came. They were, what, 3-3? Oh, no, not 3-3. They were, what? They had 3 wins or something like that. But ever since he came on the team.
Not a win.
Yeah, not a win. They came from 3-1, I believe, to 3-7. That's the issue.
He's got
notice a transition.
He's got to
there.
channel his
And-
inner Taylor Swift and be like, I'm the problem. It's me.
It's, it's
I wish
like,
we were playing that song now.
It's like a Sesame Street episode. It's just like, and what's the difference, kids? It's James Harden coming on the team.
Who's that Pokemon?
That's right.
It's James Harden.
The bum of the week, kids. It's Harden.
James Harden.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna go into a quick song. When we come back, we are gonna be talking about fantasy football as usual. We got to brag on my team a little bit when we're back. Hey. Hey, everybody. Just wanted to let you know if you're tuning into YouTube, if you want to listen to music, you're going to have to go onto the Wolf Sports Network stream, and you'll be able to hear music there. We'll be back in a minute. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys, we'll be back in 20 seconds, so stay tuned. All right, so if you have not seen the latest college football rankings, my Bulldogs are back at the #1 spot where they belong. So I thought my Cash or Trash could relate to the Georgia Bulldogs when I asked you guys this question. If the Bulldogs lose to the Crimson Tide in the SEC Championship, will they still make the college football playoffs?
So I think that depends on the scenario outside the SEC championship. So I think they definitely can, but in order for that to happen, I think it would help if Florida State lost in the ACC, which they won't, but if they did, or I would have to say that Washington would need to go undefeated and then defeat Oregon in the Pac-12 championship to knock them off. So that way you kind of have the loser of the Ohio State and Michigan game out of the playoffs. The Pac-12's in, ACC's in, and then potentially, even though Georgia lost in the championship, their resume would be good enough to bring them back in the playoffs.
I also agree with Chase. It's tough because it's kind of one of those where it's like, oh, well, Georgia's either going to be the best or they might not be in there at all. I mean, that's kind of how we're used to them being. We usually, like, if they come in and they're in the playoffs, they're usually one. I'd never have seen them literally in recent memory, just in my opinion, truly have to fight. Even if they're not ranked one, they don't usually have to fight from the bottom. Usually they, take a quick loss. Like there was one year that Georgia Tech beat Georgia, but Georgia went on. And, it just happens. But I think that for them to possibly lose to Alabama and make it one of either the ACC teams or the Big 12, like the whole conference might not have to make it. That's what I think it would take for them not to be able to make it.
I feel like the obvious SEC championship's going to be Georgia and Alabama.
It already is. It already is. It's confirmed.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then, they make college football playoffs.
Even if they lose to Alabama?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm worried as a Georgia fan, only because if Alabama does end up beating us in the SEC championship, I have a sneak feeling that Alabama jumps us and that they move into the top 4. Even though they lost to Texas, Alabama only has that one loss, and they ended up beating us in the SEC championship. So the ranking might just say, hey, Alabama skips over Georgia, and then let's say, I think Washington's going to lose to Oregon State this week. I don't think Washington's going to remain undefeated. But let's say they do. Washington stays undefeated, and then they ended up beating Oregon. Washington gets in the top 4. Florida State, if y'all win, y'all would make it into the top 4. And then let's say Michigan beats Ohio State. Michigan would be able to make it to the top 4. So that's 4 teams right there that could possibly get in over Georgia if that's what would happen. I don't think it's going to. I think Washington's going to end up taking a loss, and I think that if Georgia, the only loss they have is against Alabama, I think Georgia still gets in as a 4 seed.
I would say so, especially if Washington loses before their championship comes around. I would put a 1-loss Georgia over a 1-loss Washington, depending on what they do in the Pac-12 championship. See, that's really important because if they beat Oregon, then I don't know if I could say that. I'd have to put Washington over Georgia. So I think it really all just depends on how these other teams look before the regular season ends and what they do in their
It's
championships.
also the quality of the game in the SEC championship, too. If Alabama just beats us by 50 points, which they won't. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's going to be a close game. But still, if that happens, I think Georgia hits the back burner.
Yeah.
And it would hurt me. But that's what would happen.
Yeah.
What you got?
So for my cash or trash, one of the biggest highlights in the NFL right now is Joshua Dobbs.
Oh, yeah.
The NASA expert. Now listen,
astronaut.
This man, you got to think about just what he's done this season alone, because he was at Arizona. Even though the record wasn't pretty, he was playing decent football. So obviously when Kirk Cousins went down, the Vikings targeted him greatly because they saw how well he was playing in Arizona. So he comes to Minnesota. The Vikings rookie quarterback gets injured, so now he's thrown into the game against the Falcons, who they have a really solid defense. He knows half the playbook. He said after the game he didn't know half the players' names.
Yeah, no. 20 minutes before the game, they had to learn his cadence.
Yeah, cadence. And right before he was coming in, he got with the center, and he was just quickly going over little notes before he came in. And then he comes in and torches our defense. It's you can't teach that. That's a different level of football IQ you have to have. And his time with the Cardinals, and his story, he was playing backup for the Titans, for the Steelers, for years,
the Browns,
before he even got the opportunity to do this. And also look at the Vikings right now. No Justin Jefferson, no KJ Osborne, no Alexander Madison, and he's playing this level of football without 3 of their solid, Justin Jefferson being their best offensive threat. It's you can't teach any of this. So I want to know, can Joshua Dobbs lead the Vikings to a deep playoff run based on how he's looking right now?
Depends on the matchup. It depends on the matchup.
Exactly.
Listen, if you're going into a divisional round and you're having to face a team like the 49ers, that's a different defense than when you're having to face against the Saints and the Falcons. Falcons have a solid defense, but the 49ers defense is on another level.
Yeah, it's looking like ever since the Niners acquired Chase Young after that 3-game losing streak, they're back in their Niners mode.
Yeah, and that
Niners
scares me.
mode, and that scares me.
So
as a Philly fan,
I think that Josh Dobbs, great quarterback. But if it depends on the matchup, though, just for me, like even if they match up with the Eagles, let's say that, I mean, dude, there's no way, there's no way, or like
the Lions,
you get the Cowboys too. Like, let's not even mention them.
And they're going to have to play somebody like that because the Lions are going to win the division. So they don't have a chance of winning the division, in my opinion, despite him going off. So their only chance would be wild card, meaning they'd have to play someone like the Eagles, like the 49ers.
I think my prediction still remains the same. I think it's going to be the 49ers versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship. We'll see if that comes true or not. I am impressed with Joshua Dobbs, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has the capability of leading them into it. Like, dude, when Justin Jefferson comes back, we have to see how that connection works out. And if they can get on a level, I mean, who knows, man? The Viking ceiling, it could rise. So I'm going to say trash for now, but hey, we'll see how the season plays out.
Yeah, exactly.
Cash 100%. Josh Dobbs is him, Himmy, Himothy, anything you want to say. Josh Dobbs
even
is
as a
him.
Packers fan, he's saying that.
Josh
That's
Dobbs
what's
is
insane.
him.
Where are the Packers right now?
I'm going to be honest, we're there. We are there. And still have more Super Bowl wins than your team, the trash Eagles.
When was the last time y'all won a
That's not
Super
saying
Bowl?
much.
2011.
Yeah, we won in like 2017.
Yeah,
2018.
with your backup quarterback.
With our backup quarterback.
With your backup quarterback. But
Living
it's
in the
okay.
past, Jackson.
I mean, come on. You have to when you're an Eagles fan. You just have to live in the past, But real quick, my cash or trash is CJ Stroud the MVP?
Ooh.
Now, we got a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, listen.
Whoa.
There's Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown, the front runners, 2 receivers. I cannot tell you the last time I heard this, but usually it goes to the quarterback. So could CJ Stroud be MVP as a rookie?
Man, listen. If anything, he's rookie of the year.
Oh,
Okay,
easy.
let's
I
just
think
get that
he's
out the
hands
way.
down rookie
He's
of the year.
rookie of the year. I don't think he's the MVP. I think AJ Brown's probably going to end up taking that award home because the way he's been playing has been absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to go AJ Brown. I'm going to say trash on it.
Yeah, I'm about to go trash too, but he's hands down rookie of the year. Like, that's
Absolutely.
without question.
I'm going to have to go trash on it. The last time a rookie in the NFL won the MVP award was 1957, and rest in peace, Jim Brown.
That's pretty recent.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
that is very recent.
Yeah, no.
But I'm going to have to go trash.
I was born that year.
No, not going to lie, he's having a fantastic rookie season, one of the best rookie seasons we've seen from a QB, but I have to go trash on this one,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
All right. It's time for some fantasy. Ladies and gentlemen, the losing streak is over. I have officially gotten the win over Ryan. I have won this week's fantasy matchup. TJ
nothing to gloat
Hawkinson
about.
went absolutely nuts for me this week, and so did Keenan Allen. They both got combined 70 points for my team. Tank Dell had a good week. He got 18 points. Zay Flowers got 12 points. I can keep going. Kenneth Walker, what I got from you, Christian, 19 and a half
W.
points. Just an unbelievable performance for my team. I outscored everybody this week. That is what my team is capable of, and I hope we can ride this momentum into my matchup with Richard.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. Like,
Come on.
I really don't even want to participate in this segment. Like I said at the start of the show, I'm sitting at 2-8. I've lost 3 straight. I just played Sean last week, and it was brutal. Which, I mean, it did leave me really aggravated because I had to make some risky moves, getting Jarrett Judy, bringing him in, picking up Drake London. They both did nothing. And then he has Chris Olave, who does nothing until the fourth quarter, ends up with 21 points. I lost 146-91.
Whew. I forgot. Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to play Miles, which Miles is only an 8-point favorite, but Sean was also an 8-point favorite, and I lost again 146-91. So, do I have any faith in my team? Absolutely not. Case closed. I'm done.
It happens. It happens.
It's tough, man. It's just some tough luck for the trades. I mean, you thought they were going to work for you, and they just haven't.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and pout while y'all talk.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This was the Week 10 matchup that we all had anticipated. Sports Out of Pocket versus Sports Pack. I was facing Brendan. I did come up short. I lost by less than 10 points. Brendan actually cheated. I will say that we were supposed to let the young QBs go at each other. Jordan Love versus Kenny Pickett, but at the last chance, he swapped QBs, and he was smart because if he had left Kenny Pickett in there, I would have won. So that was a smart move by Brendan. He picked up Josh Dobbs, who went insane, and yeah, that's the rest of the story. Lost by less than 10 points.
All right, Jackson, go ahead and brag a little bit because I know you're dying to talk about your team.
I'm 6-4.
Yeah.
I'm at a solid number 4 seed, and I'm projected to beat Mason by like 30 points this week. Honestly, I thought I was going to lose against Richard because, Tyson Badgett was trash. It was Kyler's first week back, and I'm looking at my lineup this week. No Jonathan Taylor because he's on a bye, but James Conner is back, and hopefully he can have that same energy, same stats that he had like pre-injury.
You're favored by 30?
I'm favored by 25. I'm favored by 25. 100, 118, and 93. So plus there's a plus side. Justin Fields is back. So DJ Moore, please drop another 49-point game if you're watching.
That helps me out because Justin Fields is my quarterback right now.
Yeah, I tried getting Justin Fields from you because I needed a backup QB.
Well, you had to make good trades for that to happen.
Deshaun Watson got injured, so...
Yeah, Brown season's done.
The one thing that I wanted to ask you guys, obviously, when it comes to quarterback play and, quarterback talent, Justin Fields is better than Baker Mayfield, right?
Yes.
You would say that. I would say that. I think Justin Fields is, the better quarterback talent-wise. Here's the thing. Matchup-wise, it is tough this week for my quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield is playing. We talked about the San Francisco defense. That's who he's playing this week. He's playing them 49ers.
Who the Bears playing?
But then Justin Fields is playing the Detroit Lions. Another good defense.
Do not start Justin Fields no matter what.
Don't start Justin Fields,
Okay.
and the only reason I say that is because considering the weapons Baker Mayfield has...
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cade Otton, tight end is doing really well.
He's been really consistent in fantasy. He's the last 3 weeks, he's got me 21 points, 19 points, 18 points. He's been really consistent for my team.
And you got to look at this. Look at how bad the 49ers D-line devoured the Jaguars O-line, which is solid. And now they're playing Chicago, who has a bottom 3 O-line in the league. Justin Fields is going to have a rough day because I promise you he has 3 seconds to throw the ball, or he's going to either have to scramble or he's going down.
Or he's probably just going to get injured again.
Exactly. So if I were you, it would be smart to start Baker Mayfield because even though they still have a tough, they're facing a tough D-line, he has a lot more weapons than Justin Fields does.
He does.
I'm also kind of crossing my fingers because there's been some reports that Keenan Allen's been limited in practice.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm going to be honest. You kind of have to start Keenan Allen because he is your number one guy. But if you had anybody else, I wouldn't start him because he is playing Green Bay. And that's the only thing I'd be worried about is Jair Alexander. If he plays, Keenan Allen's going to be put in a jail cell. I'm sorry, but he has. He limited Cooper Kupp to 1 catch. He stopped Justin Jefferson to 1 catch as well. It's just a scare. I didn't start Amon-Ra. Well, I think I had him, and I won't start Amon-Ra if Jair Alexander's playing. I will say that straight up. I won't because
first thing I gotta say, quit sending me these terrible trades, Christian.
Jackson.
Chris Godwin, Daryl Henderson, and Demario Douglas for Jonathan Taylor.
That's amazing.
You really want me to tell you what the trade you sent me this morning, buddy?
Yes. Say it on there.
Marquise Brown and Miles Sanders for Keenan Allen.
What do you mean?
think
That's
I'm
very
dumb?
good. What are you talking
that's
about?
awful. You tell me how that's good.
I mean, I've fleeced you twice before.
Hey,
so.
on air right now, give a complete sentence on why that's a good trade.
Even your buddy through the screen is telling you that was a horrible trade.
Marquise Brown, Kyler's looking great.
Buddy.
Marquise Brown
I know,
is a top
listen,
target.
that was a joke. Because you knew I was going to decline that trade. That was terrible.
Yeah,
that was awful.
Miles Sanders is Miles Sanders.
So,
Steven,
What's
I
up?
don't know.
This Keenan Allen situation. Let me make it easy for you.
Don't
No.
do it.
If you're
You've got no
Why are
capital,
you
buddy.
you're trading
if
with
you're
a
so
guy
stressed-
who's number 12 in the league?
If you're so stressed about Keenan Allen, I will take him off his hands.
Straight up, yeah.
So you don't have to worry
You
about
know,
it. And I'll
I
give
got you,
I'll
yeah,
give
you
no,
Jalen
realize
Hurts
if you
in
lose
turn.
one more
No,
game,
just-
Chase,
just-
you're out of playoff contention.
I'm basically already out.
Listen.
I consider myself
You get
already
sent
out.
to the B League.
Chase, just send me your kicker. He's yours.
Done deal.
Oh,
Right?
you're good. Let's get
On
it
air.
done.
So I will say this though, is a lot of our teams you gotta trade now based on playoff schedule. Like for example, I'm gonna be honest. I'll let you know right on air. I traded away Kenneth Walker because among all the other running backs, he has the hardest playoff schedule. I'll just say that.
That's
straight
smart.
up.
That's smart.
He has the hardest playoff schedule.
should
Rashad
have
White
declined
has
the trade.
the easiest playoff schedule.
Smart man.
Who I went up and got, and now I'm happy that Devontae Adams finally is getting the rock. And the coach said, "I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. I know who to throw the ball to." 13 targets, a great fantasy performance. I'm looking for, against the best defense for wide receivers, I'm looking for a big game from Devontae Adams. I'm looking for him to outscore Jackson's team as a whole just by himself, and that should be pretty easy.
No, one thing that I'm also kind of in the I picked up Brandon Cooks off of free agency. I think
Yeah.
it's a W pickup for me
W.
because when it comes to I needed a backup receiver. I have Jaden Reed, who actually put up an unbelievable performance for
he's
you
a good
guys.
guy.
19 and a half. Great performance for Jaden Reed.
He has outscored Jalen Waddle and Justin Jefferson as far as rookie slot receiving yards and receiving catches since 2017. So he's
That's actually
number
pretty
2.
impressive.
He's really impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
He's
Elite
been
company.
really good. But also the Brandon Cooks. I mean, they're going against the Panthers this weekend. So I'm really considering dropping Zay Flowers for this week and putting Brandon Cooks at a receiver spot.
I'm gonna wait. You mean drop into your bench?
Drop Zay Flowers to my bench and put Brandon
I was
Cooks
gonna
in.
say
I'm not
letting you know-
dropping Zay
I'm letting
Flowers.
you know
That's
right
the-
now. If you're dropping Zay Flowers, I will put the rest of the money that I have out there on Zay Flowers.
I get that. No, for sure. So we'll see. It's only because it's Carolina. But we're going to go into a quick song. When we come back, we're going to get into our games of the week, and we're going to get fired up about these Buffalo Bills.
Hey, if y'all want to hear a fire song that we are playing right now, go to the wolfsportsnetwork.com. We are also live on there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You heard the man. No, you want me to? No. Okay. Well, y'all heard this. We're singing "Jealous" right now by Nick Jonas. Man, it is a vibe in the studio right now. But like he said, if y'all want to go listen to that song, go tune in to wolfsportsnetwork.com. Man, you're on. I guess he's
Oh,
putting
I'm
you
on
on. You're on.
Y'all, dude, we're all jamming right now. This is a vibe. If y'all don't love this song, go listen to it right now and give it a second chance. I'm
Call me upset. It's not your fault that I'm helpless. I mean no disrespect. It's my right to be held. I still get jealous. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed those pipes.
Hey, y'all. We will be back in 20 seconds. Go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and stay tuned on the stream. Send the link to your friends and family because you don't want to miss the rest of the show.
All right, we're going to start this off. Chase, why don't you get us started? You got everything pulled up?
Oh yeah, from Game of the Week, right?
Yes, sir.
Whew. Monday Night Football. Now, Broncos, Bills. I was not expecting it to be the matchup that it was, but oh my goodness, was it a hard one to watch. Now, it was a fantastic game, but what made it so difficult to watch, and I'm not going to get too deep into this because you'll see later on the Fire Me Up segment, but the Bills, supposed to be an AFC powerhouse. Josh Allen, you're supposed to be an MVP caliber quarterback. And I get it. I know the Broncos are red hot. But you threw 2 interceptions, his 6th straight game with the pick, and he lost a fumble. Talk about an offensive struggle, but that's not even the highlight of the game. It was the very end. Now, it was cool. You know, Damar Hamlin got his first couple, reps in since, his, scary injury. But Damar Hamlin was also that 12th man on the field, which caused a 5-yard penalty, leading Will Lutz to kick the game-winning field goal and stunning the Buffalo Bills crowd. And, I mean, it was a fantastic game. And if you watched the Eli Manning cast like I did, they were shell-shocked. They could not believe. Literally, when it happened, they sat there with hands on their head just in complete silence for like I was. I had the same reaction.
I just want to say something. You're kind of, and for rightfully so, you're kind of knocking on the Bills for them kicking themselves in their own foot or in their own butt and losing the games.
They did
based off late game mistakes, which is true. You're right to say that, but I don't want you to knock down Russell Wilson's performance because he absolutely tore apart that secondary the entire night. He went 24 for 29. That's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 incompletions. Thank you. 5 incompletions. He threw 2 tutties with almost 200 yards. Russell Wilson's game over these last 3 weeks to me has just gotten more and more complex in the way of how he scans the field. Now he's actually looking for the open receiver as opposed to throwing it to double coverage. I think it's just right to appreciate what Russell Wilson's doing against these top tier teams. Look what he did against Kansas City when they went to Denver. I mean, I'm not trying, I'm not trying to make any accusations that Russell Wilson, is, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, which I think when he's on his game, he's top 10.
Are y'all hearing this guy?
Y'all disagree? Y'all disagree with me?
Broncos country, let's cry. No, the Bills lost the game. Broncos didn't win.
Oh,
Bills lost.
No, I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying you shouldn't, take away what Russell Wilson did in that game.
I will absolutely take away what Russell Wilson did in that game.
All right. I lose.
Listen, man, dude, the 12th man on the defense was just awful. I mean, dude, if that doesn't happen, the Bills probably pull away in that game and they end up winning it. I mean, it's just the Bills have honestly just have proven that they're not going to be that team. With the talent that they have, they should be like a top 3 team in the league, but they're just not. I mean, Josh Allen isn't playing to the best of his ability right now. The defense is getting torched, it feels like, every week. I mean, listen, I went back and I checked their schedule. I know I'm getting ahead of myself because we're going to talk about them and fire me up.
Oh, yeah,
but it's hard not to.
But I mean, just the games that they should be torching these teams like the Giants and your close games. Ooh. That's rough. That's not
horrible.
Good.
It's horrible.
But all right, let's move it on. What do you have for game of the week?
Ooh, I woke up on a crisp Sunday morning. The air just felt right. the Atlanta Falcons were playing the 1-8 Arizona Cardinals. That is an easy dub in the books. We got a dance party going on to our right. I don't know what's going on over there. But I was like, you know what? This Atlanta Falcons game is going to be a dance party because this is a game that not only Arthur Smith gets Bijan the reps that he deserves, which he did, by the way, is because Bijan Robinson got a total of 22 carries. And guess how many Algier got? 9. And in the last few weeks, they normally get about 15 carries a game.
Yeah.
So at least Arthur Smith is finally clicking somewhere in his dull head. Hey, Bijan's good. He's explosive. I've got to use him in the run game more, which led to his second rushing touchdown of the season.
We still don't like you, Arthur.
But we don't like you, Arthur, because now I'm just gonna pick on the defense a little bit because Kyler Murray, kudos to him. He came back from an ACL tear. He's been gone for months and months, just months on end through rehab and redevelopment, and he finally came back on the field. And I quickly found out who his favorite target was. It's the tight end McBride, the guy that the Atlanta Falcons linebackers just totally forgot about, even though he's big. He's this big tight end. How do you lose him on the field? And it's just, we lost 25 to 23.
8 catches for over 100 yards is insane.
He was
playing out of his mind.
The first Cardinals tight end in history to get 100 yards. Is that correct? And they had tight ends like Zach Ertz in their history. So it's kind of hard to believe that. But
Zach Ertz out of his prime?
Zach Ertz? That's a conversation for another day, maybe. But the thing is, here's my thing. To me, it was, yes, bad play calling, but the quarterback play to me was very, very underwhelming. Taylor Heineke went only 8 for 15 and not even 60 yards. He just got 55 yards, and he had trouble locating the primary receivers like Drake London. And even Kyle Pitts got only 1 reception the entire game. And then he gets a foot injury, and the Ritter train comes steaming in. And you know what? Desmond Ritter, he did his job. He went 4 for 6, 39 yards, drove the team down the field, got the touchdown to regain the lead. What did Kyler Murray do in the final seconds? Threw a deep 40-yard bomb to McBride that set up the game-winning chip shot, and we lose another close game.
In that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
in
I
that
had nothing
same
else to
drive,
say.
Didn't Kyler Murray on 3rd and 10 run for 10 yards, and
yes, he
the
did.
defense just completely let him get that first down on 3rd and 10?
Yep.
This is the one thing the Falcons defense just have a problem with. Quarterbacks that run outside of the pocket and try and make things happen with their feet. The Falcons defense just do not have an answer for that, or at least not what I've seen.
That's the thing. When the Falcons, the only way we can consistently get pressure on the quarterback is if we do an all-out blitz. But if Kyle Murray avoids a blitz and goes out of pocket, that's just a recipe for disaster. That's when Kyle Murray is the most dangerous.
Hey,
and
out
that's
of
when he
pocket
took.
every Wednesday at 5.
Out of pocket.
I didn't even realize I said that. I was like, that was a weird time for a little promotion there.
But okay, real quick because we don't have too much time. The Chargers versus the Cowboys. What an insane game, dude! That was nuts.
You mean Lions?
Chargers?
Chargers
Yeah,
and Cowboys. Did I'm crazy?
No, Lions.
Yeah,
The
those
Cowboys.
Chargers.
Lions. Oh, I'm
The
sorry. I don't know
Cowboys
why I
and
said
Giants
Cowboys.
were not a good game.
Cowboy. I'm just talking about offenses that have scored all these points.
Yeah, yeah.
Chargers and Lions. My bad. But no, that game was insane. Amon-Ra St. Brown had an unbelievable game. He had over 100 yards receiving, and so did Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had 11 receptions for over 100 yards. He had 2 touchdowns in that game. Thank you, Lord. That helped my fantasy team really much.
And Montgomery with a 70-yard rushing touchdown. I mean, I know I lost. But hey,
both
you know what?
offenses were playing out of their mind. It was a back and forth game all the way into the end, but the Lions were able to hit that field goal. And listen, as the Falcons fans, we're talking about our head coach, but as Chargers fans, what are you thinking? I mean, maybe it's time for that head coach to hit the bricks.
Look at the offensive weapons they have. Even with the big role that Keenan Allen's had to step in and play, now that the receiving, core is kind of injured, to an extent, even that offense has still been a little underwhelming. And I think, again, it comes down to the play calling.
Losing Mike Williams hurt.
It
It did.
And
So
Josh Palmer.
And now they're losing Josh Palmer, and now they're having to face with Quentin Johnson, and they're having Gerald Everett, and they're going to have to. Keenan Allen's basically just going to have to carry the
still have
receptions
Eckler, though.
on his back. And Eckler's helping out with the running game too, but that is tough. They've had some brought in luck.
I did notice something. Sorry, Jackson. You go.
But when you did say it comes down to play calling, they should have fired Brandon Staley in the offseason after they lost to the Jaguars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
forgot about
I
that game
agree.
with that man. All right, it is time to get fired up.
I'm gonna stay sit down.
Jackson being lame and not wanting to stand up. What is going on, man?
Stand up for
Are you
Bills
not fired
Mafia.
up for Out of Pocket?
Stand up
That's
for
right.
Bills Mafia.
Stand up. All right, let's get into it. Bills, what is going
What
on?
happened?
My
How you
goodness.
lose to Denver Broncos?
How do you lose to Russell Wilson? Broncos, let's ride. My goodness, let's ride
Or in
into a
Andrew's
win.
case, Broncos let's glide. Because
Yeah,
of
like-
how much he was glazing Russell Wilson.
Try to defend him now, bud.
I just-
do you want to defend him now?
I just appreciate good players who step up in big time games and lead mediocre teams
Sure you do.
to big wins on the road. Okay, is that such a problem?
It is a problem.
I do want to highlight this though. The Bills, losing now their fourth straight game in a row, finally opened their eyes and did something positive. So before we get to the negatives, let's look at the positives. Because yesterday they fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey.
Good riddance. Bye.
Strike
Bye.
one. Look, the Patriots were strike one.
You're done.
Look, they had
You're done.
they had way too many strikes. Patriots were strike one. Buccaneers were strike two. Bengals were strike three, and he got a courtesy strike four with the Broncos. And they finally released him, and it had to be done. You have a quarterback with the caliber of Josh Allen, and you're still not winning these close games. What is the issue in the fourth quarter?
Well, it's like, so they lost Singletary in the offseason, but you have a solid running back to replace him with, and James Cook, who had time to develop, and you're hardly using the guy. I get it. You want to use
Are you
Gabe
just saying
Davis-
that because he's on your fantasy
No, I'm
team?
really not.
Yeah, I know.
I'm being
I know.
legit.
I agree
like,
with you.
want to
I
use
agree with
Stephon
you.
Diggs. You want to use Gabe Davis. You want to use Kevin Knox. I understand that, but you have to get a guy like James Cook fitted into your offensive scheme if you want to have a balanced playbook. You can't just go air raid heavy. That's never going to work in today's NFL. You have to have a little bit of balance in, which Ken Dorsey refused to do, which is why you are on an island somewhere jobless.
It's a formula as old as time in the NFL.
Right.
You have to have the running game established if you want to have your air attack work. You have to like I agree with you 100%. You have to use James Cook as that guy to establish that offense if you want to succeed in these games. Listen, when you're losing to teams like the Patriots, didn't they lose to the Giants this year? Or no, they barely beat the Giants by
Yeah.
5 points.
Hardly.
I mean, what is going on? This is an offense that should be top 5 in the league. They should be killing these types of teams.
And
What's happening?
You're exactly right, because the reason they're not winning these close games is because the offense isn't scoring. Because let's backtrack to that game against the Giants, putting up 14 points against arguably the worst defense in the NFL. Josh Allen didn't even get pressured the entire game because the Giants don't have that pressure on the line. But listen, and
You mean the
I
Bills?
think that was. No, I'm talking about.
Broncos?
I was backtracking to the
Oh.
Bills and Giants game, but I think Sean McDermott. I think the decision to fire the offensive coordinator was definitely a desperation move because he just wanted to give the feeling in the locker room like, hey guys, something did change, and I think he was kind of hoping with that move that would get the players motivated and like, hey, change is coming. This team still has time to rebound, but I doubt it. I really don't have that belief. And I feel like this team is collapsing more than the folding tables that those fans jump on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a metaphor for something.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know. I think I know it's heartbreaking being a Braves fan or being an Atlanta fan because there's not a lot of success when it comes to Atlanta. It's hard to say. It really is.
It really
but
is,
it's
yeah.
true. But it's even more heartbreaking to be a Bills fan, man. It's got to be. I mean, you're known for losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. If you were there for that, and then you're having to witness now when you got so close to beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Coin toss. They lost
and
that game on a legit coin
on
toss.
a legit coin toss. If the coin toss goes the other way, the Bills are probably going to the Super Bowl that year, and they might win. But having to live through this when you have a team like you do, and you're still not having success, it's heartbreaking.
Boo-hoo, tried so hard, got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. You know.
That's all you
what
gotta
song
say?
was-
You're
Oh,
trying to do like a- we know the song.
Stephon Diggs. I think he's gone from the Bills after this season.
Come to the Falcons.
Hey, he goes
Please.
to Kansas City.
He's
He's going to go to a team that has success. He's like a top team, probably.
Playoff
I
contender
mean,
like
I
the
would
Eagles.
be fed up because like you gotta look
No
at the
way.
Bills
No
like.
way.
Yeah, no. Yeah, y'all look at the Bills like the last 3 years. Their defense has been pretty solid. Even this year, their defense has been solid. But the offense wasn't the issue in the past. But the offense is the issue now. And it's like, these players, they're developing more and more. So if your peak time to compete is now, it is now. But you're wasting your opportunity with sloppy play calling, not fitting in your pieces well. And it's like time's running out because you're not going to have the core that you have now for long. If you want that ring, you got to go out and get it now.
One thing that I'm just remembering this. Josh Allen was on the cover of a Madden 24.
The curse.
The curse.
Madden curse.
It's
The
a
Madden
Bible.
curse.
I think we found the reason. I think we found the formula.
Is there any,
Or
maybe he can get himself. Isn't he dating? What's that one girl? Haley Steinfeld.
Nah, man. Haley Steinfeld doesn't have the same. Just gusto as Taylor Swift.
Maybe if she's in the building, they can win some stuff.
Is there any way we get Arthur Smith on that cover?
You have to earn it first, bud.
No, I get him. I promise you, man. It is actually. I just thought about that. I think the curse is real, man.
Hey, what are we so worried about,
What
guys?
are you talking about? I mean, Patrick Mahomes was on the Madden cover.
No, but what are we so worried about? Because look at their next 5 games. Okay, we have nothing. The Bills are going to be okay. They had to play the Jets. They could get a win there.
Didn't they lose week 1?
But listen,
they
then
did.
they have to play at the Eagles, at the Chiefs, at home against the Cowboys. They're going to be fine, guys. Their season is good.
You're acting like a true Bills fan right now. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine.
It's really not, guys. I'm not a therapist. I can't.
So let's end this fire me up segment by just predicting where the Bills are gonna end up this season. Are they gonna be in the playoffs or not?
If they do, it's going to be a low seed. Like, they're going to be one of the wild card teams that barely make it through, because I promise you, they are not outrunning the Marlins and Marlins.
The Marlins. It's the Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Excuse me.
Close
Dolphins
enough.
in this division. Yeah.
You know what? I
Fish.
don't even think their biggest threat is the Miami Dolphins. To be completely
Marlins?
honest. Shut up. I don't think their biggest threat is the Dolphins. I think their biggest threat is the real possibility that the entire AFC North can take away those playoff spots from them.
The whole AFC North could make the playoffs.
Exactly.
It's not an overreaction. It's a very real
at the beginning of the
possibility.
season.
I mean,
if you would have told me
yeah.
that since the Bengals were in last place at this point in the season in that
With a
division,
winning record.
that's insane to me. I mean, we're looking at what's the MLB equivalent of like, it was the Yankees division.
Yeah.
That was, everybody just had a winning record for most of the entire.
The AL East, yeah.
Yeah, just I mean that's what
Got
this
me
division
confused.
is. Everybody has like a winning record. I mean the Steelers like 6-3.
Shout out to the Ravens, 7-3. They should be 8-2. They fumbled that game against the Browns last Sunday.
That was a horrible fourth quarter.
Yep. Yeah, took
But remember,
give me bad flashbacks.
Deshaun Watson's out for the season now.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I mean, what?
I have so much pity.
Yeah,
I think-
I do too, but he's on my.
Do you
fantasy.
think
Hey, I
that
bet a
like
massage would fix that up.
I think so I'm going back to this. I don't know. I don't think the Bills are going to be able to make it because you're looking at the Steelers, you're looking at the Texans that are probably going to end up having better records than the Bills by the end of the season. And you're also talking about the Bengals who, in my opinion, are going to go worst to first. Let's get back on track, boys. Let's get back on track.
1 and 2.
That was so out of pocket. Hey, perfect fitting.
Oh, man.
Hey, all I had to
Tune
say
in
is,
every Wednesday.
That's insane, dude.
all I had to say is, all of a sudden, being a Falcons fan ain't so bad, you know?
Hey, look, at least as a Falcons fan, I knew that there was a possibility in the back of my head that, like, I was hoping we were going to improve, but I also knew who our coach was, and I was like, I mean, it's kind of a 50-50 on if we're going to be able to, like, get a playoff run this year.
At least we don't have to sit in 20-degree weather and watch that crap. At least we get the luxury of an indoor stadium.
That's facts.
Listen,
That's facts.
I mean, dude, at least we didn't have, like, that expectation of being a top 5 team in the league and not being that team.
It gives
just
you a
being
bigger target
a
on your
terrible
back.
team. It just gives you more disappointment. Really does.
Hey, we hate you, Arthur Smith, but we love you, Arthur Blank.
We do, man. Hopefully Arthur Smith will be gone at least by the end of the season. But all right, that's going to do it for us here at Sports Out of Pocket. We hope you tune into Sports Pack tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We appreciate everybody that's tuning into the stream. Appreciate everybody that is listening to us.
Stay
on
tuned after
WorldSportsNetwork.com.
Thanksgiving break for our final episode of
Final
2023.
episode of the
Our
semester.
Christmas holiday special.
Yeah, maybe there's costumes, maybe
Hanukkah,
there's elves, or maybe there's
Kwanzaa,
reindeers.
whatever you celebrate.
And hey,
Special.
everybody, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you all when we're back.